across the UK, online and on DAB. Badass Women's Hour XL on TalkRadio. Super-sized free speech for switched-on women. Badass Women's Hour XL with Harriet Minter, Natalie Campbell and Emma Sexton. The Fempire strikes back on TalkRadio.
1, 2, 3, 4!
Welcome back to Badass Women's Hour XL with me, Harriet Minter, Natalie Campbell and Emma Sexton. Now it's time for a little magic. I'm so excited about this part of the show because I am a magic geek. And if you're also a magic geek, then you probably know about Penn and Teller, two of the biggest, most important, longest standing magicians in the world. They have a show called How to Fool Us where they get up and coming magicians on the show and see if they can create tricks which fool Penn and Teller. Our guest, Rebecca Herrera, was the first British woman to fool them. And here's the moment she did it.
We think that someone else besides the people watching at home and 500 people here is also watching and is also helping you, but we can't seem to figure out exactly how they're helping. Teller did check your ears. He checked very, very carefully in your ears. We think you might be getting... I don't know. We don't want to. Want is not the right word. We're not allowed to go all TSA on you and search you. So it seems like we should know how you got that information. That seems like that's the whole trick. And it seems like if we don't know how you got the information, the boat into your head, it seems like I should put my pad down and say that you fooled us.
Rebecca, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's a big deal to fool Penn and Teller because throughout the show they have what, sort of 6 to 8 magicians on in any one show?
I think they have 4 in any one show, but yeah.
It's not many of them fool them, right?
No, I think they try to have one fooler per show, but yeah, It's not a lot of people.
Can you tell us about the trick and what you did? You obviously don't have to tell us how, although I would love it if you have to. What the trick was that fooled them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I talked to everybody about how I can see with my ears, and basically that means that I can listen to the sound of a pen drawing on paper and then kind of visualise what's been drawn in my mind, and I drew a circle to kind of demonstrate that to everybody, and then got them all to close their eyes, and I drew a square and everyone could guess that. And so I was like, okay, let's do something a little bit more complicated, and I got Teller up on stage, which was terrifying. And I got him to, check me over, blindfold me, and then I got him to draw something on the board, and then I told everybody what he'd drawn.
And you got it right.
I did. I got it right, luckily.
Amazing. And how long have you been doing this for?
Only 2 years I've been doing mentalism, actually, so not really that long compared to some other people.
So, you wake up one day and you go, I'm going to be a mentalist. How did that happen? Who inspired you? And then how do you get started? Because it's not like there's a very... I'm guessing it's not a linear kind of, you do this, you do this, you do this.
No, I think people get in quite a few different ways. So while I was at university, this was more than 2 years ago, I had a friend who was a magician, and it was really exciting, and I kind of helped her out a bit with some of her tricks, and it was really interesting being on that side of it. Harriet, you'll probably...
I would love it. I would absolutely...
She wants to be your assistant.
My dream is to be a magician's assistant. I would love it, yeah.
Or you could be a magician.
Oh my, what was I even saying? I'd definitely be a magician. Yeah, okay, excellent, yes.
Yeah, so I started by helping her out with some stuff, and it was just so intriguing being on that side of it. And from there, so my background is in performance, and so I kind of just was really interested in the way that people work and the way people's minds work, and found mentalism through that. So that was my kind of way into magic and this whole background world of amazingness that people don't get to see.
And have you created this? Is this trick unique to you? I know there's quite a lot of magic tricks and the fundamentals are the same, but the performers sort of dress it up in a different way. But is this a trick that you've created yourself?
So I don't know anyone else who does this trick. I don't know for sure that no one else has ever thought of this way, but I pretty sure it's unique.
Wow. So, I watched a movie called, I think, is it Now You See Me?
Great movie. Very into it, yeah.
And they're mentalist, so one's a mentalist, one's an illusionist, one does cards, and one does... Basically, they put in these big feats and con lots of people out of lots of money. And I was like, this is amazing. And I think it's number 2 where they open and they steal some money in Paris or something. And so when I read the write-up of you speaking to someone overseas, I was like, it's real. It's a really good movie. And I do think there is something about how you can... How the mind works and how magicians and illusionists and mentalists manipulate the mind. I'm saying manipulation, so I don't know what it is you're actually doing. But... basically trick us to think something has happened, or maybe it's not happened, but you just don't know, and that's the thing that gets us, the not knowing.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of magic, is everyone's desire to know how it was done. I think that's what drives a lot of people to see it. There's been a lot of people like online guessing how I did it. I haven't seen any correct ones yet, but...
What's your background there? Have you studied a lot about psychology? Like, I'm just wondering, you know, what is it that you had to read or understand to allow you to create such an intriguing trick? Or are you giving away your secrets?
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess I did psychology at school, and I was always really interested in it, and then didn't really touch it for a while because I was kind of performing and working on training and performing, and then... it just kind of really tied in with what I was studying, and I kind of got this spark of interest in it again, and I couldn't name anything in particular, but I've read a lot of stuff on psychology and obviously like mentalism things, and there's a whole bunch of stuff out there, and it's all really, really intriguing.
What is the core of mentalism?
The core of mentalism, I'd say, is showing people the potential of the mind. So going, this is kind of what is normal, but also you could do this, and then showing these amazing things that your mind could do if you only let it.
So, but okay, so many questions there. I mean, so the things like hypnotism and do mentalists use hypnotism?
I don't. I know other people do, but that's not a big subject for me.
Okay, and so when you say it's getting the mind to realise it can do things, it didn't know it could, like, how? Is there manipulation within that?
I guess it depends on who's doing it and how they're doing it. Okay. But I guess things you can see it with are things like people who have amazing memories and can memorise whole decks of cards. Okay. And that seems impossible, but they are doing that, and it's incredible, and things like that. And how you can train yourself to see with your ears, that sort of thing.
Amazing. I understood. So it's less about the subject that's having the trick done to them, and more about what the individual doing the trick can do with their mind.
Yeah, I think it's about, for me, it's about unlocking potential and showing audiences these kind of exciting possibilities. It's something like, look what's happening here. If you tried this, maybe you could do it too. It's about showing there's potential and possibilities they might not have realised.
Understood. Now I see why you want to be a magician.
It's fascinating. I'm so excited because we're going to have a live demonstration. So, Rebecca, you are going to show us a magic trick, right?
I am.
And we have your onstage partner, Valerie Spell. I honestly, Valerie, I hope so much that is your real name and you were born with it, and that's what made you become a magician.
It is my real name.
So
my parents who got me into magic. So.
I love it.
So Valerie is in Tucson, Arizona, in the United States. We are all here in London. Rebecca, what are we going to do?
So I've been particularly interested recently in personalities and different personalities and the way they affect the decisions that we make. So I don't know if you've heard of Myers-Briggs before. You have?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Just in case anyone hasn't, it's a personality type indicator which breaks personalities down into 4 letters, and each letter indicates a different personality trait. And so with Myers-Briggs there's only 16 possible personality types, because there's only 2 different traits in each category. But me and Valerie have been thinking about it, and we feel like there should be a 3rd letter in each category, because sometimes people don't have any particular preference towards one of the existing traits. And if you did have a third letter in each category, there would be 64 personality types rather than 16. And so we've been doing a lot of research and having quite a lot of practice. And we feel like we can use these 64 personality types to predict the type of decisions that someone is likely to make.
Okay.
It's not an exact science yet, but we thought we'd try something on you today.
Amazing.
So I have a deck of cards here, very magic. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you all to pick one. And I don't want you to just pick randomly. I want you to have a look and really choose the card you feel most drawn to, the one that's standing out the most to you. So actually, I'll come round to you first, Harriet, if that's okay.
I get to go first.
Harriet's
Honestly,
like
I just
candy shot.
love
I know
it.
what card I'm going to pick already. Do you know what card you're going to pick? I know what card I'm going to pick.
Okay.
So you can have a look through if there's a particular one.
Does it
do you wanna
matter that
pick
you
the
can
same
see
card?
them?
No.
Then I have to fight you for yours.
Okay.
And this is advantage.
Arm wrestle.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. You didn't pick
you.
that. Okay.
Can I get?
I feel like I picked an obvious card. Haven't I?
Do you
Can
think?
I get you, Emma?
Yeah.
On now.
Yeah. Hang on,
particular
it could
one.
be really quick. I know which one I want. I don't think Harriet got it.
I think we're all the same Myers-Briggs personality type, by the way, which might make this really either really boring or...
Hang on. Yeah.
Emma really knows which one she wants.
Yeah, I do. Just show me yours, Harriet.
Good.
Oh, no, you didn't get it.
How about
Okay.
Natalie, can you pick one too? Good stuff. So, now you've all got a card. I'm not going to speak again, and Valerie's going to take over.
Okay, Valerie.
Hey everyone, like you said, I'm speaking to you from Tucson, Arizona, which is 5,293 miles away from the studio.
Wow.
And to really get a sense of who you are and therefore which card you might have chosen, I'll need to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
So Harriet, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Would you rather be too hot or too cold?
Too cold.
Okay, and when you get a message or an email, do you like to reply straight away or think about your reply for a while?
I mean, I like to pretend I haven't received it and hide from it for a really long time. So I probably think about my reply for a while.
Okay, so I'm thinking you've chosen the Queen of Clubs.
I have! How did you get it from that? That is amazing. Okay.
Questions and she got that. Just two.
I'm so obvious.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Okay. Emma, now, which
Okay.
one do you want next?
Now, Emma, my first question for you is, do you prefer sweet or savory food?
Savoury.
Okay, and do you ever do anything out of sheer curiosity?
all the time.
All right, so from that, I'm going to say you picked the Ace of Hearts.
Oh my God. Yeah, I did.
you?
Yeah. No way.
Oh, we're going 3 for 3.
Okay, so for you, Natalie, is it more important to win a debate or make sure the person you are debating with doesn't get upset?
Oh. To make... to win? No, to make sure the other person doesn't get upset. Yeah.
Okay, and when you go on vacation, do you like to plan everything out or leave space to be spontaneous?
Spontaneous.
Okay, so I'm actually not 100% sure on this one because your answers weren't quite what I was expecting, but I'm going to say the Two of Spades.
That is correct.
No way. Valerie, that's amazing.
That is amazing.
Thank you all so much for being a part of our
No
demonstration here.
problem. I'll tell you what, though, I wasn't keeping a really strict eye on Rebecca here. So I don't know if you're doing any, like, secret... I don't know, you could have, like, wire... I don't know, you could have, like, some secret camera on you. I don't know, I'm getting all suspicious now. What's that thing on your necklace? I don't know, I'm getting super suspicious now. Like, how do you do that?
Anyone. The fabulous Valerie spell. Thank you very much. Rebecca, you saw how much fun we've had just doing that. Is that the best part of your job, that everyone just loves it?
Yeah, it is. When people are really enjoying it, it's really great. I think sometimes you get audiences who are sitting there trying too hard to work out how you're doing it, and you're getting no reaction from them because they're just staring at you the whole time. But when people are really enjoying it, that's really great, and that's what it's about, is people enjoying it.
Yeah. Why do you think there's not many female magicians? Because when we were doing the production meeting and saw that you're on the list, I was sitting there thinking, I couldn't name a female magician, but I could name loads of male magicians. Just wondered why you thought that was so, and if that's kind of impacted you wanting to be a magician.
Yeah, I think there's a few different reasons. I feel like the fact that there's not very many female role models in magic that you're exposed to at a young age is quite a big thing, because you're not seeing people and thinking, oh, I wish I could be like her, like you are with other careers. And I also feel like it's maybe a kind of boy-girl gender assumption from quite a young age. Like, I know my brother had a magic kit, and quite often boys get given magic kits and girls don't. And so boys are started off on a young age, and then girls, if they do get into it, maybe get into it a bit later on, and so haven't had their entire childhoods to learn how to do these things. I think that's quite a big thing.
Do you think it's a bit of a way for boys? I've always thought for boys it's kind of, you get into magic to impress girls, and that sort of then skews it again, doesn't it? Because it makes it this sort of,
do you think
sort of weird thing.
Well, I was going to say, I've never had a man do a magic trick to try and impress me. I mean, I'm open to it, but...
Where did you grow up, Kent? It's not a lot to do at Kent, to be honest.
Okay.
No, it comes from pick-up artist community, where they're always teaching them how to do magic tricks.
Oh, that's not magic, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not. But do you think that kind of... Does it feel like... Because also the Magic Circle, which... Are you a member of the Magic Circle?
I'm not a member of the Magic Circle.
Why not? That's an outrage.
They didn't admit women for a really long time, did
No,
they?
not until 1991.
Wow.
Which, yeah, it was not that long ago at all. And actually only 75% of them voted to include women in the Magic Circle at the time.
Did they now?
Yeah.
God.
You're like, why isn't it 100? But yeah, so women originally weren't admitted, and it used to kind of be, there's this phrase that's used quite a lot, which is kind of an old boys club. And originally the Magic Circle was one of the kind of Industrial Revolution men's only societies. There were lots of societies popping up at the time. And so, yeah, women weren't really included at that point, and especially because women were definitely seen as inferior then. And so I guess it just took them a long time to come round to it.
Who do you admire as a magician now? Who do you kind of look up to and go, oh yeah, they're doing some really interesting stuff?
That's interesting. I really admire Debbie McGee as a magician in general, and the fact that she was one of the first people to get into the Magic Circle actually as a woman. Because
fascinating choice, because we always think of her as a magician's assistant, but she's not.
That's just where my head
so
is
she
at.
got into the Magic Circle in her own right, but people, I guess, don't really know about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to admit something. When you said magician there, magician in my mind is gendered. When you say magician, I instinctively think man.
Yeah.
Like, as in the two, they are so entwined. And every time we say it, I think man. It is so gendered in my mind.
But I used to have a magic trick as a kid. I love magic.
Me too.
Yeah.
There was one that they used to sell in Argos. It was black and it had all of the different.
Yeah, it had about 10 tricks
on the front.
Had that.
Yeah, probably. We all had it. I think it lasted till Boxing Day and then everything broke. So very, very, very gendered. But I actually see more potential with other words, so like the mentalist and stuff, for more people to come through, for more talent to come through. Because I can't actually think of that many magicians. I can think of the illusionists, so your Darren Browns and Dynamo.
There's not even
and
many female mentalists apart from
of
yourself, Rebecca. I feel like you need to be this massive sensation.
Do you not think? I'm just saying, is it not a whole industry shake-up just to say actually, magic is a much broader industry. There are lots of bits to this.
Yeah, I feel like there is a lot of that happening at the moment, and especially with kind of the increase in women in magic, there's definitely been an increase in female magicians recently, and I feel like Penn and Teller Fool Us in America is quite a big part of that, because they list people and introduce people as the type of magic that they do, which is helpful. And Penn recently had an interview where he was talking about Fool Us and the amount of female magicians of all different types they've had on there, and how many of them have fooled them. And I think it was 5 out of 6
Wow.
of the female magicians they had on. So it's such a small percentage of the people they have on are women, but such a high percentage
So
of
can you
falling
give me
them.
some types of magic then?
Some types of magic. So illusions is quite a big thing. So things like the big boxes and box jumpers, that sort of thing. Card magic, sleight of hand. Basically, the things that you were talking about in Now You See Me are kind of quite major categories.
But what are their specific names? So illusionist.
Mentalist.
Mentalist.
Which is what I do. I'm not sure if Card Magicians has
Okay.
some but Card Magicians. Oh, there's all sorts of things.
You have to go investigate.
Yeah.
Rebecca, what are you doing next? What's coming next for you?
So I will be returning to Vegas at the end of September. I will be performing. This is the prize for Flawless. I will be performing on Penn and Teller's show.
Wow.
In the Rio in Vegas.
That's great.
Which is exciting, yeah. And then I've got some stuff coming up some exciting stuff coming up in America that I can't talk about yet. And some stuff coming up in London with a magician called Tony Middleton, who is really up for promoting women's magic, and he has a show in London called The Magic Hour, and so I'm hopefully going to be working with him sometime soon.
Great.
Can't
All
wait.
excited.
And if people like me want to follow you and find out where you're going to be next and come and watch more tricks to see if they can work out how to do them, where can they find you?
So I'm on Instagram and Twitter as Rebecca L. Herrera, and on Facebook as Rebecca Herrera.
Brilliant. Rebecca, it has been delightful being fooled by you tonight. Thank you so much for coming in, join us. The fabulous Rebecca Herrera. Coming up next, we are talking GCSE results. Fabulous Rebecca Herrera. Coming up next, we are talking GCSE results.